The first time I noticed my engagement ring was missing, I was elbow deep in dishwater after another tense family dinner. My sister Savannah had just announced her whirlwind romance with Frederick, and somehow even that managed to overshadow my recent engagement. I'm Lucy, and I've spent 28 years being the responsible one, the steady one, the one who never quite measured up to my baby sister in our parents' eyes. Lucy, honey, are you sure you didn't leave it on the bathroom counter? My mom called from the living room, her voice carrying that familiar note of dismissal. You know how forgetful you can be. I wasn't forgetful, not about this. I'd specifically remembered placing it on the windowsill, above the sink before washing dishes. Shane had proposed just 3 weeks ago, and I treated that ring like it was made of glass. It was right here, I said, my voice tight. I put it right here. Savannah waltzed into the kitchen, her perfect blonde curls bouncing. Oh, don't worry so much. It'll turn up. Speaking of rings, Frederick and I were thinking of something vintage for our wedding. Maybe sapphires. I turned to face her, watching her fidget with her purse strap. Something in her expression made my stomach twist. When exactly are you planning this wedding? I asked, drying my hands. Oh, soon. She smiled that smile, the one that always got her out of trouble as a kid. Actually, that's why I came in here. Could you help me with some planning? I know you're good at organizing things. The compliment felt hollow, like all of Savannah's compliments did. I remembered Shane's words from last week. Maybe we should put a tracker in the ring. You know how things tend to disappear around your sister. I'd laughed it off then, but Shane worked in tech security and insisted. Just a tiny GPS tracker, he'd said. Better safe than sorry. I'd agreed, mostly to humor him. Now I was grateful for his paranoia. Dad, I called out, walking to the living room. Have you seen my ring? My father barely looked up from his newspaper. Lucy, please. Your sister's trying to tell us about her wedding plans. Can't this wait? But Dad, I swear, Lucy, he sighed, finally meeting my eyes. You've always been jealous of your sister's moments, ever since you were kids. The familiar sting of his words made my chest tight. Jealous? My engagement ring is missing. Oh, sweetie, my mom interjected. Maybe you should retrace your steps. You know how you get when you're stressed. I watched Savannah settle onto the couch beside them, her hand clutching her purse just a little too tightly. She'd done this before. Taken my things, claimed them as her own. My favorite sweater in high school, my prom shoes, even my first boyfriend. But this was different. My phone buzzed in my pocket. A text from Shane. Did you activate the tracker yet? I stepped into the hallway, my hands shaking as I opened the tracking app. A small red dot pulsed on the screen, moving steadily away from our parents' house. Another text from Shane. Everything okay? I typed back, no, but it will be. When I returned to the living room, Savannah was gone. She had to run, Mom explained. Said she had an early meeting tomorrow. I nodded, a calm settling over me that I hadn't felt in years. That's fine. I should go too. But you haven't had dessert, Mom protested. I made your favorite apple pie. Another time, I said, gathering my coat. I need to find my ring. Dad lowered his paper. Lucy, don't start drama. Your sister's getting married. Can't you just be happy for her? I paused at the door, looking back at them. You know what? For once, this isn't about Savannah, and I'm done pretending it is. As I drove home that night, following the steady pulse of the tracker on my phone, I thought about all the times I'd stayed quiet, all the times I'd let Savannah take what was mine. The ring was just the latest in a long line of thefts, but it would be the last. Shane was waiting up when I got home. Well, he asked, pulling me into a hug. I showed him my phone screen. The red dot had stopped moving, settling at an address I recognized all too well, Savannah's apartment. What are you going to do? He asked quietly. I smiled, feeling something shift inside me. I'm going to let her think she won, for now. After all, revenge is a dish best served at a wedding. The tracking app became my constant companion over the next few days. I watched that little red dot move between Savannah's apartment, her workplace, and various shopping destinations. Each ping felt like a knife twist, knowing my ring was there, on her finger. "You need to see this," I said to Patricia, over coffee, sliding my phone across the table. We'd been friends since college, and she was the only one who truly understood the Savannah situation. She squinted at the screen. "Hold up, is that?" "Yep, she's at Precious Gems right now, probably getting it resized." Patricia's eyes widened. "That little—" She caught herself, lowering her voice. "Have you told your parents?" I stirred my latte, watching the foam swirl. "They wouldn't believe me, never have before." "Remember when she took your car for a joyride in high school?" Patricia asked. "And somehow you ended up grounded." Dad said I should have hidden the keys better. The memory still stung. But this time I have proof. My phone buzzed. A text from Savannah. "Lunch tomorrow. Have exciting news." Patricia read the message over my shoulder and snorted. "Exciting news. Let me guess. She's engaged?" Bingo. I typed back a cheerful, "Sure," complete with heart emojis. Time to play detective. The next day, I arrived at our usual cafe, 15 minutes early, my heart pounding. Savannah breezed in right on time, practically glowing. "Lucy," she air-kissed my cheeks. "You'll never believe what happened." I forced a smile. "Try me." Frederick proposed. She thrust her left hand forward. And there it was, my ring. Slightly altered with additional small diamonds along the band. That's beautiful," I managed, fighting to keep my voice steady. "The band looks unique." "Oh yes," she gushed. "I had it customized. Frederick gave me free rein with the design." She paused, studying my face. "Where's your ring? I haven't seen you wearing it lately." The audacity nearly took my breath away. "I lost it," I said, watching her carefully. Oh no, her concern seemed genuine. But I'd learned long ago how good an actress my sister could be. "Have you looked everywhere? Maybe it's at Mom and Dad's." My phone vibrated in my pocket. The tracking app confirming what I already knew. The ring was right in front of me. "Actually," I said, "I wanted to ask you something. That night at dinner, did you happen to see—" "Oh," she cut me off, fumbling in her purse. "Look at these." She pulled out several wedding magazines. "I need your help picking a venue. You're so good at this stuff." I let her redirect the conversation, noting how she kept touching the ring, adjusting it nervously. Every few minutes, my phone would buzz, the tracker confirming its location. "You know what's funny?" I said casually, flipping through a magazine. "Shane had this crazy idea to put a tracker in my ring, for security." Savannah's hand froze mid-page turn. Did you?" "No," I lied, watching color return to her face. "Shane can be paranoid sometimes." She laughed, but it sounded forced. "That would be a bit much, wouldn't it? I mean, who tracks jewelry, right?" Although, I pretended to study a wedding dress photo. It might have helped me find it. Savannah stood abruptly. "I just remembered. I have a meeting in 20 minutes. Rain check on dessert?" As she hurried away, I received a text from Shane. "The tracker's moving fast. Everything okay?" I smiled. "Perfect." She's scared. That evening, I sat with Shane in our apartment, watching the tracker's movement on the TV screen he'd connected to the app. "Look at this pattern," he said, pointing to a series of dots. "She's been to 3 different jewelry stores today. Probably trying to find someone to remove any trace of the original ring," I said. "Too bad the tracker's inside the diamond itself." Shane pulled me close. "You know, we could just confront her now. Go to the police." I shook my head. "No, she needs to learn. Really learn." I thought about all the times she'd taken things from me. Material things, opportunities, our parents' attention. She's planning her wedding. Let's see how she likes having her perfect moment ruined. "Lucy." Shane's voice held a note of concern. "Trust me," I said, watching the red dot finally settle at Savannah's apartment. "This isn't just about the ring anymore. It's about 28 years of letting her get away with everything." My phone lit up with a message from Mom. "Savannah's planning her engagement party for next weekend. Wear something nice, sweetie." I showed Shane the text. "Perfect timing." For what? I smiled, already forming a plan. For phase 2. Just dropping by to borrow some earrings, I called out cheerfully, letting myself into Savannah's apartment with the spare key Mom had given me. I knew she'd be at work. The tracker showed the ring moving around downtown, exactly where her office was located. The place was a mess of wedding magazines, fabric swatches, and cake samples. Typical Savannah, diving headfirst into wedding planning barely a week after her engagement. I started my careful search, making sure not to disturb anything too obviously. My phone rang. "Find anything?" Patricia asked. "Not yet," I whispered, even though I was alone. "But you won't believe what's on her coffee table." "What?" "Wedding invitation samples. And get this, they're dated for next month. She's planning a surprise wedding, not just an engagement party." "No way," Patricia gasped. "Your parents don't know." "Apparently not." I picked up an invitation. The elegant script announced a surprise celebration of love at the Golden Bay Resort. She's going to ambush everyone with a wedding instead of an engagement party. A memory hit me hard. Age 16, my sweet 16 party, transformed last minute into Savannah's early graduation celebration because she'd skipped 2 grades. "Savannah's achievement is just so exceptional," Dad had said. "You understand, don't you, Lucy?" I shook off the memory and continued searching. In Savannah's home office, I found a drawer full of jewelry boxes. My hands trembled as I opened them one by one. "Found something?" Patricia asked. "The original box my ring came in," I said. "She kept it. Can you believe that? That's evidence, right?" "Along with the tracker?" "Absolutely." I heard keys jingling in the front door. "Someone's here," I whispered, quickly closing the drawer. "Got to go." I ducked into the walk-in closet just as Savannah's voice filled the apartment. "I know, Frederick, but we have to keep it a secret until the day. It'll be so romantic." My heart pounded as I pressed myself between hanging dresses. Through the slats in the closet door, I could see Savannah pacing, phone to her ear. "Lucy, oh, she's fine. Still moping about losing her ring, but you know how she is," she laughed. "Always losing things." I bit my lip so hard, I tasted blood. "The wedding has to be perfect," she continued. "I've already talked to Sandra about the arrangements. She's Dad's friend, so she'll keep quiet." A pause. "No, don't worry about Lucy's ring. I had it completely redesigned. No one will recognize it." My phone vibrated silently in my pocket. The tracker app was going crazy, showing the ring just feet from my location. I held my breath as Savannah walked past the closet. "Actually, honey, can you come over? I need to show you something." Another pause. "Perfect. See you in 15. I heard her walk into the bathroom and close the door. The shower started running. This was my chance. I slipped out of the closet and made my way to the front door, my heart in my throat. Just as I reached for the handle, I spotted something on the side table, a stack of letters addressed to my parents. I grabbed one, stuffing it into my purse before quietly letting myself out. Safe in my car, I opened the letter. It was a heartfelt note explaining the surprise wedding, begging forgiveness for the deception, and my blood boiled, expressing hope that Lucy won't make a scene like she usually does when things don't go her way. My phone rang. "Shane, you okay?" he asked. "The tracker showed you and the ring in the same location for 20 minutes. "I'm fine," I said, starting the car. "But I found something interesting. Savannah's planning to turn her engagement party into a surprise wedding." "That's bold." "That's Savannah." I pulled into traffic. She's always taken what she wanted. My toys, my clothes, my moments. Now she's wearing my engagement ring to her own wedding. "Lucy," Shane said carefully, "maybe we should tell your parents now. Show them the tracking data." "No." I gripped the steering wheel tighter. "Let her have her perfect wedding planning. Let her send out her invitations and pick her flowers. Let her think everything's going exactly as she wants. And then?" I thought about the letter in my purse, about Savannah's dismissive laugh on the phone, about 28 years of stepping aside. "And then I'll give her the surprise of her life." I smiled grimly. She wants a memorable wedding. I'll make sure everyone remembers it. Just be careful, Shane said. Don't do anything you can't take back. But as I drove home, all I could think about was Savannah wearing my ring, planning her perfect day, expecting me to sit quietly and smile like I always had. Not this time. This time would be different. Mom, Dad, I need to talk to you about something important, I said, placing my laptop on their coffee table. The tracking data was pulled up, ready to show them everything. Can it wait, sweetie? Mom fussed with a flower arrangement. We're expecting Sandra, the party planner, any minute. It's about my ring. I opened the tracking app. And Savannah, Dad lowered his newspaper with that familiar look of disappointment. Lucy, not this again. Just look. I turned the screen toward them. See this dot? It's my engagement ring. The one I lost at dinner that night. Shane installed a tracker in it. Mom's hands fluttered nervously. A tracker? That seems excessive. The ring has been with Savannah ever since it disappeared. Look, I played the location history. Her apartment, her office, jewelry stores. Enough. Dad slammed his hand on the armrest. I won't sit here and listen to these accusations. Your sister is getting engaged, and you're trying to ruin it with wild stories about tracking devices. They're not stories. I pulled out my phone, showing them the live feed. The ring is literally at her workplace right now. The doorbell rang. Mom practically jumped up to answer it. Sandra, thank goodness you're here, she called out. Come in, come in. Sandra swept in, elegant in her designer suit, carrying a portfolio. She'd been Dad's friend for years, always treating Savannah like a favorite niece. Lucy, she nodded coolly at me before turning to my parents. Shall we discuss the party details? Actually, I interrupted, there's something you should all know. It's not just an engagement party. Savannah's planning a surprise wedding. The room went silent. Mom's face paled. How did you? Sandra started, then caught herself. So it's true, Mom whispered. Dad stood up, his face reddening. Sandra, is this correct? Sandra smoothed her skirt, composing herself. Clifford, Rosalind. Savannah wanted it to be a wonderful surprise, a magical moment for everyone. See? I pressed. She's lying to everyone. And she stole my engagement ring to do it. Lucy, Dad's voice thundered. That's enough. Your sister is trying to create a beautiful moment for our family. And you're trying to destroy it with these ridiculous accusations. Ridiculous. I pulled up photos on my phone. Here's my ring from my engagement photos. Here's Savannah's new ring. Look at the unique setting. The tiny chip in the band I always meant to fix. Get out. Dad's voice was quiet, but firm. What? Get out of this house. If you can't be happy for your sister, if you insist on making up these stories, they're not stories. Tears burned in my eyes. Mom, please. Mom wouldn't meet my eyes. Maybe you should go, Lucy. Cool off for a few days. I packed up my laptop with shaking hands. Sandra watched with a satisfied smirk, already pulling out color swatches for the engagement party. Outside, I called Shane. They didn't believe me, I choked out. They threw me out of the house. Come home, he said softly. We'll figure this out. No, I wiped my eyes. I know exactly what I need to do. My phone buzzed with a text from Patricia. Just saw Savannah at the mall. You won't believe what she's doing. I called her back immediately. She's wedding dress shopping, Patricia said, with your ring on her finger, telling everyone how her fiancé let her design it herself. Lucy, she's actually going to do this. Let her, I said, starting my car. Let her plan her perfect surprise wedding. Let her pick her perfect dress. Let her think she's won, like always. What are you going to do? I thought about the tracking data, the photos, the evidence I'd collected. I'm going to wait until she's standing at that altar, in front of everyone she's lied to, wearing my ring. And then I'm going to tell the truth. Your parents will never forgive you. They've never really been in my corner anyway. I pulled onto the highway. At least this time, I'll make sure everyone knows exactly who Savannah really is. Another text came through from Savannah. Hey sis, sorry to hear about the drama with Mom and Dad. You know how they get. Still coming to my engagement party, right? I need my big sister there. I stared at the message, at her fake sweetness, at her absolute confidence that I would fall in line like always. Of course, I typed back. Wouldn't miss it for the world. Because I wouldn't. I wouldn't miss it for anything. Savannah wanted a memorable wedding day. I'd make sure she got one. 3 days before the engagement party, I ran into Frederick at the local coffee shop. He was staring at his laptop, looking stressed, and didn't notice me until I was right beside him. Lucy, he jumped quickly, closing his laptop. I didn't expect to see you here. Just grabbing my usual. I gestured to the barista for my order. Wedding planning keeping you busy? His face went blank. What? The engagement party. I corrected smoothly. Must be stressful. Oh, right. He relaxed slightly. Yeah, Savannah's handling most of it. I sat down, uninvited. That ring you gave her is beautiful. Where did you find it? Frederick shifted uncomfortably. Actually, she picked it out herself, said it was exactly what she wanted. Did she tell you where she got it? Lucy. He glanced around nervously. I should go. You don't know, do you? I pulled out my phone, showing him my engagement photos. Look familiar? The color drained from his face as he looked between the photo and the receipt in front of him. A payment for rush alterations to a wedding dress. I don't understand, he stammered. Savannah said, let me guess. She said she lost her original engagement ring, that you should let her design a new one. He nodded slowly. And the surprise wedding, was that your idea, or hers? Frederick's eyes widened. How did you? Because I know my sister, I said, standing up. And now you do too. My phone buzzed. A text from Patricia. Sandra's at the venue now. Want me to do a drive-by? No need, I replied, watching Frederick hurriedly pack up his things. I just planted the first seed of doubt. That evening, Mom called. Her voice was quiet, hesitant. Lucy, honey, about the other day. Yes, I held my breath. I found your old jewelry box in the attic. The one from high school? She paused. Remember when your charm bracelet went missing and showed up on Savannah's wrist 2 weeks later? She said she bought it at the mall. I found it in the box, along with other things. Things that went missing over the years. My hands shook. Mom, the wedding invitation, she said suddenly. The surprise wedding. Did you mean that? Check the side table in her apartment next time you're there. She keeps the letters in the drawer. Silence stretched between us. Mom? I need to think, she said finally. Just come to the engagement party, okay? Please? After we hung up, Shane found me crying on our balcony. We could still stop this, he said softly. Tell everyone now, before. No. I wiped my eyes. She needs to face everyone all at once. No more hiding, no more lies. My phone lit up with a message from Frederick. Can we meet? There's something you should know. We met at a quiet bar across town. Frederick looked like he hadn't slept. I talked to the jeweler, he said, sliding a paper across the table. About the alterations Savannah requested for the ring. He remembered it because he swallowed hard. Because she asked him to remove any trace of the original purchase. I looked at the jeweler's statement. There it was, in black and white. The attempt to erase my ring's history. There's more, Frederick said. The wedding. I never agreed to a surprise wedding. She told everyone I wanted it that way, but I didn't even know until yesterday. What are you going to do? He stared into his untouched beer. What can I do? Everything's paid for. Everyone's coming. My family's flying in. You could tell the truth. Like you're planning to? His eyes met mine. I saw the tracking data on your phone. I know what you're going to do. I leaned back. Are you going to warn her? No. He stood up, dropping some cash on the table. But Lucy, make it quick. Make it clean. Don't drag it out. As he walked away, my phone buzzed with a message from Savannah. Final dress fitting tomorrow. Wish you could be there, sis. Can't wait for you to see everything come together. I looked at the tracking app, watching the red dot that represented my ring, moving through the city. 2 more days. 2 more days until Savannah's perfect wedding. 2 more days until the truth came out. Shane was right. I could stop this now. Tell everyone. Prevent the spectacle. Avoid the drama. But then I remembered the jewelry box in the attic. Years of stolen moments, of lies, of playing the perfect daughter while I was pushed aside. No, Savannah wanted a wedding everyone would remember. And that's exactly what she was going to get. The Golden Bay Resort buzzed with activity as guests arrived for what they thought was an engagement party. I sat in my car, watching the tracker app show my ring moving around the bridal suite upstairs. "You don't have to do this," Shane said from the passenger seat. "Actually, I do." I checked my phone. Dozens of messages from Savannah about running late, about saving her a seat, about being the best big sister ever. Patricia knocked on my window. Security's checking invitations at the door. I grabbed an extra program. "You need to see this." I unfolded the elegant paper she handed me. There it was, printed in gold letters. The wedding of Savannah and Frederick. "Look at the time," Patricia pointed. "She's starting in 30 minutes. My phone rang. "Mom." "Lucy, where are you?" Her voice was tense. "I found the letters and the wedding program. Please tell me you're coming." "I'm outside." "Good, because I need—" She lowered her voice. "I need you to help me stop this." I gripped the steering wheel. "Stop it? Now you want to stop it?" "I was wrong," she whispered. "About so many things. But we can't let her do this. Your father, he's going to be devastated." "No, Mom." I watched more guests file in, dressed for a casual party, about to be surprised with a wedding. Savannah needs to face what she's done, all of it. I hung up and turned to Shane. "Ready?" He squeezed my hand. "Whatever happens in there, I'm with you." Inside, the resort's ballroom had been transformed into a wedding venue. White chairs, flower arches, and confused guests milling around in cocktail attire. "Lucy," Sandra intercepted me at the door. "You're not supposed to be here." "Really?" I smiled sweetly. "My invitation says otherwise. After your behavior." "Let her in." Frederick appeared beside us, looking pale. "She has every right to be here." Sandra's eyes narrowed, but she stepped aside. I found my seat in the front row, next to my parents. Dad was already red-faced, clutching a wedding program. "Did you know about this?" he demanded. "Yes." "And you didn't tell us? Would you have believed me?" Before he could answer, music started playing. Sandra hurried around, instructing shocked guests to take their seats. "Ladies and gentlemen," she announced, "Savannah and Frederick have a wonderful surprise for you all today." Gasps and murmurs filled the room as she revealed the true nature of the gathering. I watched Mom sink into her chair, Dad's hands trembling, as he realized his youngest daughter had planned this deception. The music changed, the doors opened, and there was Savannah, radiant in white, my ring gleaming on her finger. "Stop!" Mom stood up suddenly. "Savannah, stop right there." Savannah froze halfway down the aisle. "Mom?" "The ring," Mom said clearly. "Tell everyone about the ring." The room went silent. Frederick stepped forward from his place at the altar. "Savannah," his voice carried in the quiet room. "Tell them." Savannah's perfect composure cracked. "I don't know what you're talking about." I stood up, phone in hand. "Maybe this will help." I connected to the venue's presentation system, something Shane had arranged earlier. The tracking data appeared on the large screen behind the altar, showing months of movement. "That dot," I said loudly, "is my engagement ring. The one I lost at dinner. The one you took, modified, and are wearing right now." "Lucy, you're just jealous," Savannah tried, but her voice shook, like always. "The jeweler confirmed it," Frederick cut in. "I saw the paperwork myself." Dad stood up slowly. "Princess, is this true?" Savannah's eyes darted around the room, taking in the shocked faces, the evidence on the screen, her perfect day crumbling. Tears spilled down her cheeks. "I just wanted it to be perfect. Lucy always gets the practical things, the responsible things. Just once, I wanted something beautiful, something special, something stolen," I finished, "like everything else over the years." I was going to give it back. When? Mom asked quietly. After you wore it at your secret wedding, after you altered it beyond recognition. Savannah turned to Frederick, reaching for him, but he stepped back. I can't, he said. Not like this. The room erupted in whispers. Sandra tried to maintain order, but guests were already standing, gathering their things. Dad. Savannah's voice was small, childlike. Daddy, please. But for the first time in my memory, Dad turned away from his perfect princess. I watched my sister standing there in her wedding dress, wearing my ring, her carefully constructed world falling apart. Lucy, she whispered, I'm sorry. But as the room emptied around us, as years of lies finally caught up with her, I realized something. Sorry wasn't enough anymore. The ballroom had emptied, except for our family, Frederick, and a few lingering guests who couldn't tear themselves away from the drama. Savannah stood in her wedding dress, mascara running down her cheeks, still wearing my ring. Take it off, I said quietly. Lucy, please, take it off. Her hands shaking, Savannah twisted the ring from her finger. It caught on her knuckle, the resizing hadn't quite worked, before finally coming free. I can explain, she started, but Mom cut her off. Explain what, exactly? Mom's voice was steel. How you stole your sister's engagement ring. How you planned a secret wedding. How you've been lying to everyone. I found your collection, Dad said, his voice hollow. In the attic, your mother showed me. All those things we thought Lucy lost over the years. Savannah's face crumpled. Daddy, I just wanted what you wanted. Frederick stepped forward. What about what I wanted? Did you even think to ask if I wanted a surprise wedding? Of course you did. You said, I said I wanted to marry you someday. Not like this, not built on lies. Sandra appeared at Frederick's elbow. Should I tell the caterers to pack up? He nodded, not looking at Savannah. I'll handle the cancellation fees. Frederick, no. Savannah reached for him, but he stepped back. I can't trust you, he said simply. How could I marry someone who would do this? Patricia, who'd been filming everything on her phone, finally spoke up. The ring, Savannah, give it back. Savannah looked down at the ring in her palm, then at me. For a moment, I saw something in her eyes. Not just regret or shame, but understanding. Maybe for the first time she was seeing herself through everyone else's eyes. She held out the ring. Lucy, I took it, the familiar weight settling in my palm. The band had been modified, small diamonds added, but underneath it was still my ring. Still the symbol of Shane's love, of our future. Why, I asked, all these years, everything you took, why? Because you had everything. Savannah's voice cracked. You were always the responsible one, the smart one. Mom and Dad were so proud of your grades, your job, your sensible choices. I wanted to be special too. Dad made a strangled sound. You thought we weren't proud of you? You were proud of what I took from Lucy, her achievements, her things, her moments. When I had those, you noticed me. The truth of it hung in the air between us. Mom sank into a chair. Dad's face aged 10 years in 10 seconds. We did this, Mom whispered. We made this happen. No, I said firmly. Savannah made her choices. She knew exactly what she was doing. Frederick cleared his throat. I should go. Savannah, don't call me. He walked out, his footsteps echoing in the nearly empty ballroom. Sandra followed, already on her phone. Probably damage control with the vendors. The ring, Patricia said suddenly. Check the tracker. I pulled out my phone. The app showed the ring exactly where it was. In my hand, no longer moving around the city, no longer part of Savannah's lies. I really am sorry, Savannah said softly. I know it doesn't fix anything, but I am. You're right, I replied. It doesn't fix anything. Dad stepped between us. Girls, maybe we should all go home, talk about this. No, I cut him off. We're done talking, done pretending, done making excuses. I turned to Savannah. You didn't just steal a ring. You tried to steal my whole life, piece by piece, and they let you do it. Mom started crying quietly. Dad looked lost, his perfect family falling apart in a room meant for celebration. "What happens now?" Savannah asked, small and uncertain in her wedding dress. I slipped my ring back on my finger, where it belonged. Now you live with what you've done. No more hiding, no more lying, no more taking what isn't yours. Patricia touched my arm. "Shane's waiting outside. Ready to go?" I nodded, turning to my family one last time. "I'm getting married in 6 months. Don't come, any of you." "Lucy, please." Mom reached for me. "No." I stepped back. "This is my moment, mine. And for once, Savannah isn't going to take it from me." I walked out of the ballroom, leaving my sister in her wedding dress, my parents with their guilt, and years of enabling behavior behind me. Shane was waiting by the car. "You okay?" I looked down at my ring, back where it belonged. "I will be." Because sometimes the best revenge isn't just exposing the truth, it's finally being free of the lies. The doorbell rang as I was trying on my wedding dress at home. Patricia peeked through the peephole and turned to me with wide eyes. "It's your mom," she whispered. "And Savannah." I smoothed the simple white dress, so different from the elaborate gown Savannah had chosen. "Let them in." They entered quietly, Savannah hanging back while Mom stepped forward. She held a familiar wooden box in her hands. "Before you ask us to leave," Mom said, "please just look at this." I recognized my old jewelry box from the attic. Mom opened it, revealing a lifetime of stolen treasures. My charm bracelet, my prom necklace, even my first pair of pearl earrings. "I've been seeing a therapist," Savannah said softly. "She helped me understand why I did what I did. It doesn't excuse anything, but..." She stepped forward, placing an envelope on top of the box. "This belongs to you too." Inside was a check, a substantial one. "It's for your wedding," Savannah explained. "Everything I spent on mine, the venue, the dress, everything. I want you to have it. I don't want your money." "I know." She wrung her hands. I need you to know I'm trying, really trying. Dad's in therapy too. We all are." Mom set the box down. "We failed you both. We let this happen. But Lucy," her voice cracked, "please don't shut us out of your wedding. We'll sit in the back. We won't say a word. Just, please let us see you have your moment." I looked at my reflection in the mirror. The dress, the ring back where it belonged. Everything exactly as I'd planned it. "The therapist helped me understand something else," Savannah said. "Every time I took something from you, I wasn't just stealing things, I was stealing parts of you. Your confidence, your joy, your trust. I want to give those back, but I don't know how." The doorbell rang again. Patricia opened it to reveal Dad, holding a large photo album. "I found this," he said, not quite meeting my eyes. "Pictures of you growing up, all the moments we missed or overshadowed." He opened the album. There I was, winning the spelling bee, graduating college, getting my first job. Each photo showed Savannah somehow taking center stage, our parents' attention diverted. "I was wrong," Dad's voice broke. "So wrong. You were never second best, Lucy. You were extraordinary. I just couldn't see past my own mistakes." I touched my ring, thinking of Shane's words. Sometimes forgiveness isn't about forgetting. It's about choosing to move forward. "The wedding is in 3 weeks," I said finally. "If you come, there are conditions." They waited, hardly breathing. No speeches, no last-minute surprises, no trying to make it about anything except Shane and me. "Of course," Mom whispered. "And Savannah," I turned to my sister, "you'll sit where I tell you, wear what I choose, and not say a word during the ceremony." She nodded quickly. "Anything you want." "The money," I picked up the check. "Donate it to a family counseling center, so maybe some other little girl won't grow up thinking she needs to steal her sister's life to be special." Dad stepped forward, stopping just short of touching me. "You look beautiful, sweetheart, just like yourself." The simple truth of his words, "just like yourself," hit harder than any elaborate praise. My phone buzzed. A text from Shane. "Everything okay?" "Yes," I typed back. I think it might be. Looking at my family, broken, healing, trying, I realized something. The tracker in my ring had done more than catch a thief. It had traced a path back to truths we'd all needed to face. Patricia, I said, would you help Mom and Savannah pick out appropriate dresses for the wedding? Nothing white, nothing flashy. Of course, Patricia grinned. I'll make sure they behave. Dad carefully closed the photo album. I'll do better, Lucy. We all will. I touched my ring one last time, feeling its weight, its history, its future. I know you'll try. That's all I can ask for. Because sometimes the best ending isn't about perfect forgiveness or complete resolution. Sometimes it's about finding the strength to let people try again, while keeping your boundaries firm and your truth intact. And sometimes it's about realizing that the thing that was stolen, whether it's a ring, a moment, or years of validation, was never what defined you in the first place. 3 weeks, I said. Don't make me regret this. They left quietly, leaving the jewelry box behind. Inside, beneath all the stolen treasures, I found a small note in Savannah's handwriting. I'm sorry I tried to be you. I'm learning to be me. And maybe that was the best revenge of all.